So we have a customer that is reenacting Gordon Highlanders, and he wanted particular buckles on his kilt. So typically we put on our little silver buckles there. You see in a lot of period images and a lot of original kilts from the Great War, you see a lot of these two-prong guys right there. He wanted those specifically put on the kilt, so we're going to put them on. But the problem is our straps, which are single hole, don't necessarily work on those. So I need to make up some straps for them and then fasten everything on. All right, so we have our finished reenactor style kilt here. On this one, as you'll see, it has one strap up top, and it does have a strap on the other side for the waist. There is no hip strap here. They came in a variety of different options here. They either came with one strap, two straps, three straps, no straps. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss story going here. But without having the hip strap on there, it makes it easier for guys, different hip sizes, to be able to pick it up and wear it. So some of the other noticeable things we have on this, we also have a twill waistband. A lot of times these were 25, 26, 27 lengths. When you get that far into the bolt of material, you don't have anything there for a waist to be able to put a waistband on. So we see a variety of different options. We see green, twill, we also see white. Sometimes even the front apron was cut higher and folded down, so the waistband actually starts back here on this first pleat, where the top part is just folded over. Most times they're all pleated to the stripe. Some of the black watch ones we see pleated to a black stripe. Sometimes we see it pleated to the green stripe. Sometimes we see it to the negative, which is more like in this section, than that solid blue stripe there. And typically they pleat it to the stripe just because it makes manufacturing easier. It's simple. Any contractor out there will be able to do that and do it fast and efficient, and that's what they need. They need the speed of everything, especially during wartime. Now, some of the officers' kilts, they would have been more tailored, so they could spend the money to have certain things, certain luxuries. Now, again, there is no really officer's uniform. They had to purchase everything. So for them, everything is going to be more custom. Everything's going to be made to fit them. So officers get a little better quality. They also get everything's tailored, but it's coming out of their pocket. So the average amount of yards that is going to be used in this is going to be it's typical 8 yarders. So 8 yards on average for anybody up to a certain hip size. Then after that, you're going to have a little bit more yardage stuck in there. So it could be anywhere between an 8 yarder to a 9 yarder in reality, but most of the ones you're going to see out there are going to be 8 yard in total. As guys are getting issued their kilts, they're going to be wearing them a little bit higher than we typically wear now. So now it's more at the belly button. For that time period, you're going to see everything about 2 inches above. So it's going to have about a 4-inch rise on it. And then it also will come to about middle of the knee. We do see some pictures with it to the top of the knee, but that's a salvage kilt. That's something that's being just reissued back out. All right, so you're probably wondering what the difference is between something like this and our normal everyday kilts that we wear now. Ta-da! We have one of our 8 yarders right here. So overall, the front is going to look pretty much the same. One of the key things on the front, on the edge of our aprons, here we have fringe. There's no fringe on these. And again, we have a hip strap here, no hip strap on this one. And then the cloth waistband versus the tartan waistband on this one. On the back sides of these just so happen to both be pleated to the stripe. Again, on the ones we have today, we can get them, 8 yarders can be pleated to set, stripe, whatever, but these guys are being issued these as is. When you see belt loops on these, there is no belt loops on these. This would just be having a belt wrapped around, holding it snug, if not using just the straps and buckles on it. Speaking of straps and buckles, these are held on by black cotton. Again, easier to manufacture, easier to produce in the long run versus having to match the cloth placement on here. Now, that doesn't mean that these weren't ever done this way. It's just more common to see something like this. Again, this is a well-loved Alaska state seal kilt that was made for Eric. So there's a little subtle difference, especially with the liner. The majority of the time we use a black cotton on for a liner. On the inside, you can see it does have horsehair underneath here, has the horsehair lining underneath here. On these guys, again, it does have that horsehair underneath here, but in this case, it's going to have a white cotton lining. We also see a white bay, which is more like a wool, heavier wool material as well. Used, you see both interchangeable. All right, so the strap holes on both these are done the same way. They're both turned and then hand sewn around. So wearing one of these in combat, how was it? Well, I can only go from my experiences reenacting. I don't actually have live bullets fired at me, so I can only go so far with it. But as far as moving through the trenches and everything, it does give a lot more ease of movement. But on those cold nights when it's freezing temperatures and your canteen is freezing, it does provide some warmth around the waist, especially with the high rise that it is. But you have to use some of your other accessories, such as your kilt hose, bringing them up above the knees, especially crawling around on the ground, because this edge will freeze depending on what the weather's doing. So if it's raining or if it's snowing, you will get little balls of frozen precip down there. Now, this wasn't just worn by itself. You had a kilt apron that was worn over top, or a kilt cover. So this was worn right over top of this. It's not a canvas material, so this is just a cotton material. This is copied right off an original with a single pocket in the front, so don't have a sporran on during this. So this is your pocket, this is your sporran, it's on at all times. A variety of different items were carried in that pocket, for anything from explosives, which I don't know if I'd want to carry a bomb that close to some other areas, cigarettes, papers, stuff that's easily accessible that you want in the field would be in there. But this is a full wraparound kilt cover. There is pleating in the back, very shallow pleating, but this is to help protect the life of this kilt. So this kilt, again, was made to the specs of Patrick, he's a reenactor, for World War I. Now, that doesn't mean other time periods won't vary a little bit in their differences. So if you're looking for something like this, reach out to us, see how we can help you out.